One thing that has always fascinated me in photography is the photographer's point of view. What you say with a camera is much more important than how you say it. Everybody speaks about a photographic style. And what is a photographic style? I've already explained why what camera you use is much less important than what you do with it in another video. But what you do with a camera, is that a style? Style and point of view are not the same thing. Your style might just be a flash on a camera in bright daylight or grainy soft focus analog prints. But that's not a point of view. A point of view is not something that an AI can reproduce, but it can reproduce a style. An AI cannot have a point of view, but you can have one, or develop one if you don't have it yet. If someone asks me to take a picture like Paolo Roversi or Ansel Adams, I can do it. I can use the technique they used and copy the style, but it won't have their point of view. Man Ray once said, "I wish people would ask me why and not how." Why belongs to a point of view. How belongs to style.
I've always just been interested in the ordinary. I've never been interested in the exotic. So, as John Updike said, there's something wonderful about the exotic of the mundane. And that's been my guiding light. I love ordinary life. And so all I do is wander around and, see what people do. And if it interests me, I shoot a picture of it. It's simple as that. The only rule of thumb I have is that I don't set anything up at all. All my pictures are what I call non-fiction pictures. I'm not talking about commercial side. I'm talking about the serious side. And so I hope that when I conk it, when I die, people can look at my pictures and say, well, that's what it was actually like at that particular time in that particular place. And it's not doctored or anything. It's just a view of what it was like, what David saw.
When you were 20 years old,
did
you think like that as well?
In a way, yes, because you see, when I was 21 years old, I went to Hungary and covered the Hungarian Revolution, and I went there purely because I wanted to see what it was. I was just starting, and I realized that if you start with a bang, it helps enormously, you know. But my reason for going there was to see what it was like.
That already is a point of view. For a long time, I almost exclusively used Polaroids in fashion photography and portraiture. It was not my style, even though many people thought it was. And it was not even my point of view, those Polaroids. My point of view was taking a picture that felt as if it was being photographed by a close friend or a family member. The old Polaroid camera, as an object, helped create that feeling, but it was not everything. I didn't need it to have my point of view. It's the way we see something, the feeling we have, and what we want to express.
I was speaking to a student yesterday here, and he said to me, I'm studying photography and fine art. When did you realize, or when did you have your signature? And I was similarly saying the same thing to him. These things are developed over a long period of time. And I think as you mature, your vision becomes more singular. You understand simply what you want to say more with your work. And the focus is just much more acute. I think it's something that you're born with, but it's something that you develop, and it happens over a period of time as we get older and acquire more knowledge. It's hopefully.
In this case, would the camera matter at all?
It's what you want to say, and you finding the right tools to implement in what you're trying to say. And for me, the foundation of my work is analog. I have an obsession with film grain and different mediums and different cameras and different lenses. So I have a variety that I use. I never use just one camera.
The way you see things and the style you have, is this something that develops in you right away when you're young, or something you develop over time and many years of working?
I think both. It's both. When I was younger, when I was 20, I was kind of struggling how to find my style. And I tried to use many different cameras. And I found the one called the photographic. So I thought it's kind of a good matching of me. And I decided to use it as a main camera. I always focus on the cycle or circulation things, passing time, universal things.
Art directors often classify photographers by style. They want to know what they'll get when they commission someone. That's normal, but unexciting and sometimes challenging for a photographer who enjoys experimenting and evolving. Galleries and editors also tend to want consistency. It's easier to sell when you can clearly talk about an artist's style. From a gallery's point of view, clarity isn't optional. It's part of survival. As a gallerist, you see so many photographs, so many young photographers, so many people presenting work. How do you know when they have their own point of view? And is understanding their point of view important in your selection of who gets exposed and who gets published?
It's sure that the point of view is something essential in photography because today the picture cannot be just the picture. You know, what is important is the intention, what we want to say with the picture, all the process. So we'll see many things to make the selection. And so today it's not only that we like the picture, it's not enough. We need to have what is behind. And what is behind take more and more places. Sometimes there is some epiphany and you say, okay, I want to show this project. I want to, you know, it's something that speak to your ears. The state of picture is changing. So a good project 5 years ago is maybe not a good project today.
Photography began as a way of understanding the world, but even the early greats like Julia Margaret Cameron already had a point of view.
Here we have the work of Julia Margaret Cameron. This one's called The Kiss of Peace. It's one of her most famous photographs.
This was quite influential leading up to current day modern photography,
Yes,
because I think it was Stieglitz who was influenced by,
Yes, he was.
by her work,
Yes.
wasn't he?
Stieglitz included her in Camera Work, which was his magazine starting in the early part of the 20th century.
Right.
And her work where it was included as photogravures.
Right.
And we can show you over here, we have a Stieglitz.
Okay. One of the real surprises for me was encountering the work of Wang Ningde at the Dawn Gallery booth from Shanghai. It was a solo presentation, one artist, but he was showing several bodies of work, each with a completely different visual style. That's something you rarely see. Style didn't unify the works, point of view did. That was the moment it really clicked for me. Across generations, across continents, across techniques, what lasts is not style, it's a way of seeing. And sometimes a point of view isn't about photography itself, but about our place in something much larger. Does he have any advice for students of photography and finding your creativity, finding your voice?
Oh, that's a big question. Well, also teaching art school in China. Yeah.
这让我说就有点儿这个，我的第一节课都是那个我是天文学爱好者，然后我第一节课是给同学们讲天文学，然后为什么这么做？就是我是尽量的让学生把摄影这件事情放到这个艺术史，然后世界史里、人类史里，甚至宇宙当中去考。对，就是始终，我觉得就是格局是一个最重要的事情。
格局
就是如果你不把摄影这件事情镶嵌到整个艺术史和人类史里的话，你就很难创造，因为你只是在摄影这个小树上去向前走。
A style can change. A style can be learned. A style can even be generated. But what I saw at Perry Photo reminded me of something fundamental. A point of view isn't how images look, it's why they exist. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I really appreciate it.